Having an opt-in on your website means that your website is working for you 24/7 to help you build your email list and generate leads for your business. Today I'm going to teach you how to design professional looking opt-ins in the software Canva. Stay to the end of this video and I'll also tell you how you can get a free guide to help you triple your income. Email marketing is a consistent way to stay in touch with past clients and to grow your revenue. Be sure to hit the subscription button and ring the bell to be notified every time we publish a new video. Hi, I'm Jeanne with Six Figure Business Coaching, and I've been a social media manager since 2008. And I just love helping social media managers and freelancers just like you start and grow successful businesses. In fact, one of our clients grew her email list to over 1,000 and built her business to over 6 figures in just 1 year, and you can too. So now we're going to actually go ahead and create the opt-in in Canva. And I just can't tell you how much I really love this software, because when I started out in marketing and I was doing opt-ins and really when I started out in marketing, I mean, we needed the expensive softwares. I was trained on, Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign. Actually, it was Quark before it was InDesign. And there wasn't anything like Canva that existed that could do all the different things that Canva does in such a simple way. You need to know that you can use this for your business. You can also use this to do work for your clients as well. So there's lots and lots of clients who would be willing to outsource something like this type of opt-in. So what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to show you one of our opt-ins and how I created some of the pages. So when you're designing something like an opt-in, usually if it's a PDF, usually they're in the US 8.5 by 11, so they're paper size, so that someone could print this out if they wanted to have a look at it. So what you do is hit create a design, and you could either do US letter, which is just going to give you a blank document, which is fine. Actually, let's go ahead and do that. So we know that this is set up in exactly the right size that we want it to be. And then on the left-hand side, it also gives you some templates to start with. So if you like the look of any of these, this could be really the starting point of your homepage, or it could be the inspiration for your homepage, and then you could use some of the design elements throughout your document. So, let's say, you liked this one, and keep in mind, this has got to be something that's like your branding. So maybe these leaves have something to do with your branding, and it's something that you could use, on each page, but maybe you would add here your logo and other information. So this might be a really good starting point for you, and I'll give you something really simple that you can use throughout the document. So let's copy the page. So this would be your page 2. Oops. And then I'm just gonna select this and delete it. I'm gonna select that and delete it. And then we can take this element and we can make it transparent. We can make it kind of fade. And then maybe we just wanna pull it off. So it's just a couple little tiny pieces. So it brings the branding from the leaves into the next page, but it makes it really subtle. So that's a really nice way to use elements from the home page throughout the document. So what I'm going to show you, though, is one of our pieces and how it's already set up, but I'm going to show you how we used all the different elements from our piece. So here we are at, this is actually an opt-in that we use currently, right now as of this date. It's called Master Email Marketing to Triple Your Income. Now, what I want you to notice with this document is that it has a nice big call to action. It tells you what it is. It's helping you master email marketing to triple your income, which is enticing. Lots of people would love to triple their income. And then we have who it's for, especially for social media managers, freelancers, and virtual assistants. It has a nice picture of us on it, so that's part of our branding so that you know it's Jeanne and Kirsten. Then it has our logo on here. It has our branded colors. We also used the leaf from our logo in the top. We used a nice version of that. And then we used, you know, some of these dots and different things. We kind of used this rectangular background that we use in a lot of our thumbnails on our YouTube channel. Now, I'll tell you one thing I'm going to add to this that I didn't use was a way to reach us. So what I'm going to go back and put on here is, actually I can do it right now. I'm going to put our website address. So over here on the left is, as you can see, is our navigation. So up here on templates are some nice layouts, you know, with some elements that you could use. There's photos in here that you can use, and you can search for photos. Now, any of the ones that say Pro and have the little crown next to them, those are available for free with Canva Pro, which is a subscription. You can purchase them if you have the free edition, and it will ask you to purchase them when you are ready to download the document. And I think they're just $1 each, so they're not expensive if you find something here that you absolutely love. This is different elements that you could use. So like I was talking about, these little dots you can find here within these elements, lots and lots of elements. The stickers and the movable ones, I'll warn you, are really cute and kind of flashy. They also make your document a little bit larger. So if it's something that people have to download, you may want to just be a little bit careful because you don't want the document to be too big and they get frustrated because it takes a long time for it to download. This is where you can find all kind of great font and text combinations that you are free to use. And they've done some really nice things here in Canva about, you know, setting them up. So if you had to put, you know, some elements on a menu. So I really, really like a lot of what they've done here. I will caution you though, that you definitely want to stick to whatever your brand is. So I hope that you have already defined your text combinations. But if you're doing something fancy and fun and, you know, kind of a one-off, then you can play around with this a little bit. I will also tell you that with Canva Pro, one of the nice things is if you set up your branding elements, there's a section that allows you to do that. You set up your fonts, your branding colors, your logos, then it will bring up your branded fonts up here at the top. So I can go ahead and choose those right away instead of having to go and find the font that I want. So all I have to do up here when I click on text is click on that because I think that's the one that I want. And it came over here really, 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 really tiny. Can you see it's right there in the middle? So I can make it bigger so I can see it. Oh, that didn't make it much bigger. I can also come over here and make the document bigger so I can see it. And I'm going to click twice on the text and put sixfigurebusinesscoaching.com. Here are the crosshairs, and that selects the whole box and makes it nice and easy for me to move. So now make the document smaller so I can move it down here. Now it's still a little bit small. I can make it bigger than that. Here we go. That's pretty good. There. So now people know how to reach me, because it's funny, you know, you get yourself involved into this kind of thing, design especially, all the time, and you just assume, well, everybody's going to know how to reach me. They just go to my website. But if you don't actually put your website on here, they don't know for sure. So what I've done is we're going to recreate this page. I'm going to show you how to do all these different elements on a blank page. So we'll start from the top. This is part of our logo. It's just the leaves right here. And so I have created this element and on my computer. And so I'm going to go ahead and upload it. So if I hit uploads, now it's already stored here because I've already used it before. But if it wasn't stored here, I could click on upload an image and I could go ahead and select it from here. And this just brings up all the documents that I have on my computer. And then it would upload it to here, and then it would be available for me to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on that. Oops, brought it on the other page. So now I can drag it down to my page. Okay, now let's see. I wanna make it a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna pull the corner. And then I only want half of it, so I'm gonna drag it back up again. And then I feel like this is a little bit darker than what I need. So I'm gonna go up here and I can hit transparency and make it a little lighter. There we go. Okay, got our first element. Now, these are text boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the text element. I'm gonna hit a little bit of body text, because this is closest. So master. So again, it's really, really tiny. We're gonna make it much bigger, 28. So, and I think it's all caps. Nope, it's not master. It's really big, 80. It's still bigger than that. Okay, keep going. That's probably pretty good. Now I can also see that it's bold and it's italicized. And I can also see that it's tilted a little bit. Can you see that? So I'm going to pull, this is how you tilt your text. I'm going to hold down my pointer and just tilt it a little bit. Oops, that's probably a little too much. And bring it over there. Okay. Now, this is a different text box because it's a different text. And this is not one of our branded texts, but I wanted it to be really bold and something that would just jump out at people. So we used Barlow Black. So, but because I want it to be tilted the same as this one, I can just click on master, and I'm just going to tilt that back just a hair. Sometimes it looks too much. I am going to click on this, and then I'm going to go Command C for copy and Command V for paste. Oops, I actually have to click on the box and not the text. There we go. So Command C, Command V. All right, I copied the box. Let's bring it down. Make the box bigger. Now I can see when I make the box bigger, the text is actually centered. So I'm gonna go up here and make the text left aligned because that's what I want to happen. Now I'm gonna go all caps, email marketing. Oops. Make that longer. I'm gonna highlight the text and change it to, if I click up here. Now it says Barlow Black here, or I could have typed it in here, Barlow. And it would have come up here, black. Now the other thing you'll notice here is, let me try and get all the colors up here, or all the fonts up here. So when you go over here to select your font, ooh, I changed it by mistake. When you go over here to select your font, it brings up all these different fonts. So these are all different fonts that you can choose from. Okay, now the ones with the crowns are Canva Pro fonts. So just like the pictures that had crowns, when a font has a crown, that means as a Canva Pro user, you have access to it. As a non-Canva Pro user, you don't. So Canva Pro is the upgraded subscription version. But you'll see as a non-Canva Pro user, you still have a ton of options. And I'll tell you one other thing, when you are a Canva Pro user, you also have the option to upload your own fonts. So if Canva does not have your font, you have the option to upload it, which is great for your branding purposes. Okay, so we've got master email marketing. Oops, we did it in 2 lines up there. I kind of like it in 1 line. I'm gonna leave it in 1 line because I like it. If you wanted it 2 lines, you could put a return here. And then over here, you can change the spacing. line height, make it a little smaller. It also has letters, so if you wanted to make the letters wider, you can do that there. Do you see how flexible this program is? I think it's phenomenal. And now we want a rectangular box behind it. So I'm gonna go over here to elements, and I'm gonna search for rectangle. Now, it gives me a square, which leads me to believe that I would be able to stretch the square to make it a rectangle. I could select this one, but I can see it has a border around it, and I don't want a border. I can see this one, but it has some shading, and I don't want shading. I can see this one has rounded corners, and I think this one may be just the border. So I'm gonna select this one. But again, you could try any of these because you might find one that you like better, or you may find, that as a designer, you find all kinds of things that that you didn't mean to do, but then you end up liking them better. So that's always fun. So it's always fun to play around and try things, and it really more or less depends on how much time you have to play around and have some fun. Okay, so that's similar. And I actually need to make that font bigger. And you saw what I did there. I just twisted it right here with this one just to turn it and give it the right angle. Now it's the wrong color. You see that? So up here, because I have this selected, is where I can select my colors. And just like I was talking about with your brand, when you have the pro version, it pulls up all of my colors. You can see this little crown here. That means it's the pro version. So this would not exist if you had the free version. So, it would still pull up all the other colors, and you could click here and you can put in your hex numbers for your logo colors. You just have to have those handy. And that's not a problem. I would just have a little text document on your computer that you can always flip back to. That's the color we use. Yep, that's the color we use. Now the other thing we could have done is left this and then just went transparent, so we got to the right color that we wanted, because it is a transparent version of that color. Okay, so we got a couple of those. So now, what about these little dots? So let's go over to elements and let's put dots. Look at all the different kinds of dots we have. This is kind of cool. And some of them are, colored dots and not colored dots. And sometimes you can change the color of what these are, and sometimes you can't. So I'm going to select one that I know is not the one that we want. So let's say we select these. So you can see that it's pulled all three colors from this. So you can change all three of these colors. Whereas something like this, oh yeah, so I guess most of these elements, so something like this is very detailed. So you can see here, it does not allow you to change those colors. So just know some of these are flexible, more flexible than others. So I have a feeling it was maybe this one. Yeah, I think it was that one that we used. So I'm gonna bring that down here. And I'm gonna bring it over here and kind of pull it off to the side even further. And I'm gonna change the color to one of my light greens. Okay, that's good. Now, to triple your income, I'm gonna do this a little faster so that I don't keep you for too long. So 2, I'm thinking that's the same font as master, and triple is. And so we're gonna copy some of these. So let's go to master, copy and paste, and bring that down. And then we're gonna turn it back so it's more or less straight. 2. Make it smaller. It's not a really important word, so we don't have to make it too big. look right. And then I'm going to copy master again. Triple. Get that one tilted down a little bit. Just a little bit. Sometimes, like I said, when you tilt them too much, they look kind of funky. And then we'll take this, copy and paste, bring it down. Your income. Make that one line or two. One line. Okay, we're just gonna make that. Way. It does tell you. Do you see the little percentage down there? It does tell you what the percentage is. So you can make sure that they are the same. And then, oops, I'm even going to copy this rectangle. Copy, paste, and bring that down till that. Bring that down. Change the color to green. Oops, this only needs to be income. Pull the top down. Let's change the color up here to green. And we need to change the transparency. Ah, do you see what it's done here? When I change the transparency, make it a little darker, I can see that the color, the rectangle, is on top of my text. You have to think about this. Each element on here is a different layer. So what we want to do up here is hit position and backward. So we've moved it to a back layer. Now I feel like these elements are a little too far down. So I'm gonna, if I highlight all of them and I can bring them up a little bit. There we go. Then this is a text box. So, and the text is steadfast. I'm gonna go over here to my text. Text box, oops, shows up there. Make it bigger. Especially for social media manager, oops, managers, freelancers, and virtual okay. Now, because this is a really fancy kind of scripty font, sometimes it's a little hard to read when it's all smushed up together like that, I feel like. So I want to make sure that it's really easy to read. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Oops, I think it just made that one. I gotta make sure you select it all when you're gonna make it bigger. And then I'm gonna go over here and change the spacing on the letters so that spaces them out a little bit. It just gives them a little bit more room. So I think it makes it a little bit easier for people to, when they look at it, to be able to read it, for their eyes to look at it instead of seeing it as all a bunch of squishy letters and things. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're dealing with scripty fonts, because they can be a little bit funky. I'm gonna go move this a little bit again. Now what I can do here is select all these elements. Since I've already moved them once and I may have to move them again, I'm gonna go up here and click group. So now I can move all these elements together. Okay, now they've become one. And again, I can just click ungroup if I wanted to ungroup them. And I think actually this part needs to be grouped together because I think that's a little bit too low. I'll run out of room here at the bottom. Okay, now we need my logo. I'm going to go to uploads. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. And again, if it wasn't in my uploads, then I would click upload an image and I would go ahead and upload it. And all I had to do is click on it, and then I can make it smaller. One other really nice thing you can do in here also is that you can go up here to link, and you can put a link, make it an actual live link to your website. So as long as you were going to download this as a PDF, you can put live links in here. So I already showed you how to do that text. So actually, I'm just going to copy. I'm going to cheat a little bit if you don't mind. Copy and paste it. And I'm going to make that text a link as well. So if you're like before, when I clicked on here, the link element showed up here because it gave you different options. Now when I click on the text, oops, I'm gonna click away. When I click on the text, it doesn't give you the link element. So if any of your elements are ever missing, just click on the 3 dots and they'll be there instead. I'm wondering if I put the dots in that one. I didn't, it's not funny. https://. Ooh, that's funny. I don't know what I was thinking there. Okay, so the last one is our picture and the little circle behind it. So I'm gonna find our picture with a circle. Here it is. So I just clicked on it. Again, could have uploaded it if it wasn't here already. I'll make that smaller. And then the element behind it, actually, I pulled from the elements over here. So it was actually, I think it was one of these circles. There it is. So it was this circle. And that was one I just kind of stumbled on. I was looking for something else, and then I thought, oh, this might be really cool. But it's the wrong color. So I changed the color. So I went, well, instead of the blue, I want one of my purples. Maybe that softer one. And then instead of the green, I want one of my greens. And then I want to flip it around so the dots are on the bottom. And then I just drag that down. Now it's a little bit too small, so I'll make it, I want it bigger than my circle. And then I'm going to move it back. I'm going to put my picture there. So I think we got everything in there. It's not exactly, you could play around with the different elements, make this a little bigger, make that a little smaller, make that a little lighter or darker. So essentially that is the way that you can make at least the homepage of your opt-in in Canva. And it really illustrates a lot of the different elements, a lot of the different creativity that you can use Canva for. The last thing I'm going to show you is how do you get it out of Canva. So you go up here and you hit download, and then you'd want to do PDF print. Unless it's a really, really large document and some of the images are very large, you may have to wait until you download it to see how big it is, because you may have to go PDF standard, only because you do not want your PDF document to be too large, because people will get frustrated if they have to download something that's too big. And I would say if you can keep it under 2 megabytes, that would be best. Obviously the smaller the better, but you can't offer people a PDF that's 8 megabytes. It's just, I just think it's too big. And for some people, especially who may have older computers or don't have a lot of space, it's going to be very frustrating for them. It's going to take a while to download. Plus when they open it, it's going to take a while for it to render. And that can be very frustrating. So, but if you're going to print it, certainly use the PDF print. if you are going to send it to someone, again, you're going to want to make sure it's small enough. I think as far as email goes, I think if you're emailing it, it has to be something smaller than 10 megabytes. So in this case, we're going to print it, and we want to print all pages. If we didn't, you could just select a page here and say, oh, I just want to print the home, you know, not the home page, but the title page, the front page. So then we hit done, then we hit download, and it says preparing. It always has a nice little quote here. Then it will ask you, where do you want to save this? So you can pick out where you'd want to save that on your computer. Let me know in the comments below if you've been using Canva for your business or if you've been using to support your clients. If you are ready to build your email list and grow your business using email marketing, you've got to get a copy of our free guide, Master Email Marketing to Triple Your Income. And you could do that using the link in the description below this video. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, hit the like button, and share it with your friends so we know to make more videos just like this one. And be sure to check out the other videos featured here on how to start and grow a social media manager or freelance business. And until I see you again, dream big.